Hello, and welcome to Discovering with Dr. Deb. We're new to podcasting, but I certainly hope this content is helpful to you. Over the course of the next couple seasons, I'll be sharing content about the Enneagram, trauma, and how living in this pandemic has added a lot of trauma to our lives, and how to move on from here. EMDR, eye movement, desensitization, and reprocessing, and how it helps people move through and past their trauma, self-care, and more mental health stuff. We'll be spending the first season looking at the Enneagram and how you can use the Enneagram to learn more about yourself and why you do what you do. Discovering the Enneagram with Dr. Deb is next. Hello and welcome. I'm here with my Ennea pal.
Ennea pal.
This is Jason Gilmore, my Ennea pal. All things Enneagram tied up in my lovely 3. Are you a 3 extraordinaire?
I am a 3 out the roof.
I think everybody needs a 3. My daughter might kill me for this, but she's newly dating and found out the guy was a 9. Of course, I'm like, what's his Enneagram type? She says, I don't know, I'll find out. He's a 9. I said, oh, everybody needs a 9 in their life.
That's exactly right.
You know, the peaceful mediator.
That's why we can be friends. I was 15 minutes late, but I was fashionably late.
Oh,
I'm a 3.
Who's your 3?
And the 9 was like, it's okay, we'll be fine.
Well, you know, one of the things about the Enneagram, I was kind of talking this last week to a new group of intern students, giving them an intro into the Enneagram. And, you know, I said, I hear this, we all have a little of all the numbers.
Right.
In us.
Yes.
I don't see a lot of 8 in myself or some of these others, but we do have a lot of all those different aspects to our personality.
So
and
paths have a lot to do with that, which we're going to talk in a little bit.
Right. We're going to talk about paths.
So what are we covering in this session?
Good idea. So let's just intro that. Today we're going to talk about the triads. So there are
a triad.
3 in a triad, and there are 3 triads since there's 9 numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one is we're going to cover the gut because that's 8, 9, and 1.
That's the instinctive center.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
And then the 2, 3, and 4 that one's yours.
The feeling.
You're the feelings in the heart triad.
Yes.
And then the head triad is 5, 6, 7.
It's thinking.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to kind of just touch on those and how the things they have in common, and then how they really kind of process even within that likeness, there's differences.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk about that today.
So gut. We're starting with the gut.
Starting with the gut.
So if you look at the Enneagram circle,
Right.
You have the 9 at the top.
Right.
Because they're the best. Everyone wants to be like the 9. Now you have the 9 at the top, and then you've got the 8 to the left of that, and you have the 1 to the right of that. So those are the 3 we're talking about.
Right.
They're on the piece of pie at the top of the Enneagram circle.
They are.
8, 9, 1.
Right. And so the thing about the gut triad, these types, it says they operate most out of their gut instincts. So they share a reaction to their instinctual struggle with anger. And they focus on a common desire for justice.
But don't you think, so I know a lot of 8s, and I know that they're like quick to blow their top. So I can see that with an 8. Mm-hmm. But a 9?
Yeah.
You struggle with anger?
Yeah. So when I first learned I was a 9, and I heard that this was my triad, and they said something about anger, I was like, I don't get angry.
Right. Yeah, because not many 9s that I know do I think of as angry people.
Right. Well, we can tend to be a little passive-aggressive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how it looks for a 9. I was frustrated with something, and I just kind of let it go, and then I get passive-aggressive, which I hate to admit. You know, and that's another thing, too, about the Enneagram is like we really kind of focus on the negative aspect of our number a lot of times more than the positive, but that's definitely one of the less attractive aspects of a 9 is we do have that anger, but we kind of respond in a passive aggressive way.
So 8's kind of quick to get angry.
Right. They respond instinctively in a fast and intense manner.
So they're like bam.
Bam. Nines, on the other hand, are asleep to their anger because it disrupts their need for peace and harmony.
And because they like peace. They don't
Right.
want things going south on them.
Right. So they
avoid
suppress
it.
their anger and are often unaware that this is the instinctual struggle. So a lot of times you can feel it kind of there, but it's like, it's okay, take a chill pill, and this is kind of internal.
Or adjust myself
Right.
so that everybody else is
Right.
peace and harmony and
Right.
in unity and
And then ones repress their anger since they believe anger is bad, because the one, their longing is to be good. They want to be good. They want to do the right thing. They want to be moral, and it's not okay to be an angry person. So they will kind of repress it, but it leaks out through critical, nitpicky, and voicing their judgment onto others.
Residual is a word that I used earlier.
Yes.
And it's like residual frustration.
Yes.
So they're just frustrated about the littlest things. Can just kind of, just because it's not perfect.
Right. And they typically, they're more frustrated with themselves than others, but it can come across if they've repressed it for a while,
Right.
and if it's something that's happened, they
Right.
can kind of be critical of others too.
Right.
You want to make sure you load that dishwasher right for that one.
Let me tell you something. You want to make sure you do anything right for the one. You do not want to screw this up.
No.
And for a word of advice for those of you who are in relationships, and you have a significant other that is an Enneagram type 1, your way is never going to be the right way. So would you just ask them the way they want it done?
Yeah.
And then just adapt to their way?
Yeah.
Or at least make them think you're adapting to their way?
Yeah.
Because ones will tell you all the reasons why you didn't do it the right way.
Well, they've usually uncovered the right way or the most efficient way.
They're usually right.
They are usually right.
It's kind of,
Yeah.
It's kind of like,
And
you're
nines
right.
can do that. I mean, we can take a back seat and do that. Some of the other numbers may struggle.
I feel like 8s would have a harder time doing that.
That was what I was thinking. Yeah.
Because 8s like to be in control.
Yes.
And they don't like to relinquish control unless they can 110% trust who they're giving control to.
Right.
So these guys are just 8s, 9s, and 1s. These guys and gals, they just know. Like they just have a
feel it in their gut.
They just
right.
have a feeling.
Right. They also all focus on a common desire for justice. So 8s do not want the innocent to be harmed, so they will step in to protect.
That's how they protect. That's why they protect the ones closest to them.
Right.
Their inner circle, their family.
Right. Especially an 8 with a 9 wing, because that's the bear. We're going to talk about wings, too, in an upcoming episode. 9s do not want others to feel overlooked or unimportant, so they will make space for others to have a voice and be heard. And that's how they look they look at justice. Type 1s do not want unethical injustices to take place, so they'll point out what's wrong or inaccurate, so it'll be addressed and fixed.
In other words, they don't have a problem saying that is wrong.
Right.
Or that is because it's injustice or unfair.
Right. Right.
Sometimes they don't even have a dog in the hunt, but they'll go to bat for others because of the injustice.
Right, in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
So they all have that common desire for justice. So let's switch to the heart triads.
Yay! That's mine. Okay.
That's yours.
2s, 3s, and 4s.
2, 3s, and 4s.
They're like this slice of the pie
Right.
over here.
Right.
They are, over here in the circle, in the imaginary circle.
Right.
They are, we're feelers.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, we're feelers.
Yes.
2s, 3s, and 4s. So let's think about the difference between the three. Okay? So
Okay.
they know a little bit about each number.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to start with the 3, but I'm going to back up to the 2.
Okay.
Just because I'm a 3 and I'm most familiar with
Okay.
myself.
Okay.
You get it? Okay.
So they
2s,
operate out of their feelings.
They operate out of their feelings. They're driven by their feelings, and they are trying to. The emotional struggle that they have is shame.
Right.
It's shame.
Okay. So the other's anger, yours is shame.
Ours
Okay.
is shame.
Okay.
And our desire in all of this is to have significant identity.
Okay.
So as we look at 2s, 3s, and 4s, we're going to see how it kind of varies for each number that's in the heart triad.
Yeah, but I can see that for each of those.
Can you?
Well, the 2s are the helper.
Very much so.
But deep down, they're helping others, so you'll appreciate what they've done for you. So that's
They gain their identity by what they can do for other people. Almost to the point where if it's unhealthy, I'll sacrifice my own needs, similar to the 9. I'll sacrifice my own needs to make sure that someone will accept me for who I am.
Right.
As a friend, a helper, a spouse, whatever it may be.
Okay.
3s are kind of out of touch with feelings of inadequacy a lot of times.
Yes.
So they tend to need to always look like never let them see you sweat. Kind of thing.
So that's when they talk about the masks.
Yes.
And
3s
the
are
deceit,
wonderful at wearing masks.
Because they don't want anyone to see cracks in this. Yeah.
That's their core weakness, is deceit.
Okay.
And so what they do is their identity is found in, or their worth is found in what they can accomplish.
Gotcha.
Goal-wise,
Achievements.
Work-wise, achievements, successes, that kind of thing, okay? So, but they're big feelers.
Yeah.
2s, 3s, and 4s. It is.
I don't think of but they are. They operate out of that triad.
But you know when I feel the most? In private.
I'm thinking of my 3s. I think you're right.
I feel a lot in private.
Yeah.
Because I can't really show those. I don't feel as if, as a 3, I can show those emotions of inadequacy in public.
So thinking of like social media, the 3s that I know that are 3s, and not just me going, oh, I think they're a 3. Like I know certain people are 3s.
They have the best social media accounts.
They do.
Yeah, they're never taking those pictures where their hair is.
No, but sometimes you can see the emotion in it. You know what I mean? The emotion they're feeling, like whether it's joy or sadness.
Yes.
So that's kind of interesting. I had never connected that, but I wonder.
So I like to, when I post on social media as a 3, I like to. This is fun. I like to wait. Sometimes wait a little bit.
Okay.
Because if someone posts a lot,
yeah,
you're like, oh, okay, another post. But if you kind of wait a little bit, dangle the carrot, and then really get a good one in there. So that's what I did just a couple of days ago.
Yes.
Or actually, yesterday.
I saw it.
Did you see?
Yes,
okay,
I did.
Guys, Meatloaf died.
I know.
Okay,
I know.
Meatloaf died.
Which is sad.
Because
good music.
He would do anything for love, but he wouldn't do that. And we don't know what that is.
Right.
Nobody knows.
But he wouldn't do it.
Sadly, at 74 years old, he died, and we still don't know what that was. But thinking about Meatloaf, I thought, I want to honor Meatloaf today, because he really, he was really impactful in my life, musically.
Yeah.
I'm a big music person.
Right.
Okay, so I love.
Yeah.
Well, Meatloaf's, he had some good songs.
He did.
Okay, the only one I know is the one I mentioned. That I'm kidding. I know more than that.
Okay.
But don't ask me to name them. But Meatloaf. So Meatloaf dies, and I'm like, okay, how can I lightheartedly share this with the world? Because I bet they don't know that Meatloaf. Did you know Meatloaf had died?
I did.
Oh, I bet you are on Twitter or something.
No,
and read. You just knew.
No, I probably saw it on social media.
See, I got the notification that Meatloaf died when he died. So, or shortly after, when it went public. And so I made that post,
Right.
The only Meatloaf I ever liked in my life was the singer, and he died, And then people, would comment on there.
Yeah.
But I love to get that feedback.
Right.
It's like I love to get that feedback.
Right.
So, whereas a 9, you could really care less about your feedback on social
don't care
media,
about
can
it.
you? No, I know.
No.
Ones don't either.
No.